Welcome back to Travel Camp Explore. This is the second of our videos covering our 12-night trip on Celebrity to Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Greenland and then Iceland. This trip was in August 2023 on board Celebrity Summit. This video will focus on our time in St. John's, Newfoundland and also our time in Greenland. On arrival in Newfoundland, our excursion to the lighthouse we had booked through Celebrity was cancelled due to weather. This was despite the ticket saying this would take place regardless of the weather. I thought this was a little bit funny, but to be fair, I don't think you would have seen much from a lighthouse, so it probably was not a bad thing it was cancelled. We decided to go on a walk around part of the town of St. John's to see what it was like. The weather was still damp but not raining very hard, and the temps were in the 50s, so not really cold. A quick search of a nearby area in Apple Maps showed us that there was a cathedral nearby, so that is where we headed. As you can see from the photos, this town is built on a pretty steep hillside, a pretty common theme on this trip, so just be aware of that. There's a flat street by the port, but going any further requires a pretty steep climb. We found the cathedral in about 15 minutes and had a walk inside to take some pictures. It reminded me of some of the churches back in England, with some nice stained glass windows and nice architecture. We then walked around the downtown area a bit more, but most of the restaurants were still closed as it was still pretty early. There was not a whole lot to see really, so we did not stay in town too long. We headed back to ship by lunchtime. As you can see, the rest of the footage is of us leaving the port of St. John. Our visit here was definitely impacted by weather, but nobody can control that. It was certainly a beautiful area, but we did not get to see all that much of it. We may be back again someday. For now, enjoy the footage of our departure, and I will be back to talk about Greenland shortly. So on to our next stop. Welcome to the beautiful and unique country of Greenland. We made a tender stop at the town of, excuse my pronunciation, Qaqortoq. So good morning from Greenland. I'm not even going to pronounce the name of the town we're in. So this morning we did not book an excursion, we're just going to have a walk around and take a look at the town. Apparently the hotels are not friendly to cruise ships. You wouldn't think they want to turn away business. So not unlike Newfoundland, this place is built on a hill. You know what, this is like a little monument garden. There are steps going right up there up to the church. Yep, there's a path right there. It's a shortcut, babe. Is this anything we can actually read? No. I believe they have their own language here. But From what I read, about 60% of the people speak English to some degree. We did not have an excursion booked for this visit because we knew it was a very small place. Initially we had a walk around the centre of town, which was very small, saw a local church and a stream running through the centre, and then we decided to get a local taxi to show us around. Again, this town is built on a bunch of steep hills, so it was probably a good decision to get a taxi, and we definitely saw more than we would have if we had just walked around. Some more buildings up to the right. There's an old church right next to a babbling brook. Definitely a pretty place. Lots of flowers along the side of the brook. Very pretty town. Not sure what that is. It might be a grocery store. We did see a nice little fountain in the middle of the town. We did not ask the taxi driver about it, but it seemed to be commemorating the town, possibly the founders. We got a few other pieces of information from the taxi driver that we did not know about Greenland. Firstly, there was a college in this town that a lot of people traveled to from elsewhere in the country. Also, there is no way to travel from one Greenland town to another via road. If you own a car here, you can literally just drive it around your town. To get to other towns in Greenland, you are either going to have to take a boat, a helicopter, or a dog sled. The taxi driver spoke broken English, but we had no trouble communicating as he drove us around. He even stopped at the top of the hill and gave me a beer that was brewed in Greenland to try. The beer was great and nice and cold just from being sat in his trunk. While this is not the biggest place you are ever going to visit, it is beautiful, and I enjoyed our stop there, which was topped off by lots of icebergs floating around as we departed. So that brings us to the end of our visit to Greenland. Next up will be our trip through Prince Christian Sound and then on to Iceland. Hope you enjoyed the video and keep watching the series.